Welcome to the rise of the loneliness epidemic. You've come to watch this video because you feel lonely, right? I want this video to be raw, really speaking from my heart as well, so you really understand what is actually going on. Because spending time on social media makes you feel even more lonely, and I experienced it first. And if these stats are correct, 1 out of 4 people in the whole world report to feel lonely. But that's for all age categories. But I predict that most of the people who are watching this video right now are aged between 18 to 24. There, the percentage is not just 1 out of 4, it's 3 out of 4. 75% of Gen Zs report to feel alone sometimes or even at all times. I felt especially lonely when I was creating those 29 days, 29 challenges series in February. Scripting all these videos, filming the videos and editing them all by myself. As I usually finish those days late in the evenings, I simply spent that time on social media and didn't have real human interactions, or I say different types of human interactions. And did I felt any better after scrolling on TikTok or Instagram after that? No, absolutely not. Because I think social media is not about being social. It's about putting a false perception out in this world and into other people's minds. As a solo creator myself, I can tell you that everyone feels like that, especially all the creators or solo creators out there who are creating all this content by themselves. They know deep down that they are feeling lonely if they simply focus all their attention on creating content. The likes or the comments on your posts or videos won't feel real. They simply can't feel real because you just simply get a dopamine hit there, but it will never feel real. And I know a lot of people won't admit it. They think they'll be fine, but deep inside them, they know it. Humans are meant to have interactions with humans and not a comment sections or depend their lives on some likes, especially not on a screen. Now I know a lot of people think just simply deleting social media is the solution and makes life easier. Am I right? I actually did it not last month, like at the beginning of March after that whole series, where I simply deleted the apps on my phone like Instagram and TikTok. To be honest, simply deleting the app icon itself helped me a lot to reduce my time I spend on social media. It's definitely not as convenient if you have to go on Safari, and I can tell you the website format of Instagram and TikTok aren't the best. They just force you to download the app, so that already helped. But I can tell you, there is always a replacement for this type of consumption. For me, it was YouTube at the beginning. I've spent hours on engineering videos or learned how to fix my drone, which I was surprised with. That's the good part, where I used my time differently instead of spending it on social media. Because the average time spent on social media is, I think, roughly around 3 to 4 hours. And the question is, if you delete these apps, do you spend all that time actually on working the stuff you want to? The simple answer is a no, including myself. I started to spend times on news sites reading those headline and negative driven media consumption. There's always a distraction to find. For our generation, it is social media. For our parents' generations, it was the TV, and for our grandparents' generation, it was the radio. So simply using that magical delete button won't make everything better in life. Now let me move forward to the true reason you feel lonely. Or in other words, why I felt lonely. Maybe you can resonate with that. Now it all started back when I quit my desk job. Those short interactions with humans, with real humans, with work colleagues, that's what humans actually need, and not through this screen as I'm creating this video, and especially not with social media. And that's why I felt worse and worse over time. It's the same feeling I had when I went abroad, where I did my semester abroad in Cardiff. At the beginning I felt lonely. I didn't have a lot of people I knew there, but I met a lot of people there and frequently went out with them, so that kind of void was filled. But when I got back home, I simply started to grind. I was creating that series, and then I realized quickly how much is missing if I simply create every single day's videos like that and don't have real human interaction. And the worst part about all of that, I simply scrolled on social media once I finished with. Even though I had comments on my video supporting me and really getting inspired with all that content, it didn't really felt real. Like, I think a lot of things were going on in my head at that point, but things started to get worse and worse over time. What was missing? Simply the human interactions. The only place where I got some different and real human interactions, except the close circle I have, is in the gym. The 2 hours I spent in the gym. And that's, my friends, where I learned an important lesson. Don't get comfortable being introverted. That's what really hit me. Introverted people like to get in their shells and simply cover themselves up in their own little world inside their head, or the easy escape route on social media. That's what happened to me. Yes, I was working hard and creating all that content and felt kind of good about myself of doing these challenges and really pushing myself to the limits. But what you do is fill up more and more void in your head. Now, combining that attachment with social media, you will feel good in the short term, but it will get worse and worse over time and damage you in the long run. What's happening with those introverted people? They feel more and more lonely over time. Now, you can just delete everything, but what does deleting everything mean actually? I mean, is YouTube part of that? As you guys can see, I'm still creating content on YouTube. Is that social media? If I really go deep down and the content I'm creating, I'd say it is social media, yes. But one promise I made to myself is not creating any short form content anymore. Simply sticking to the long form content and build at least a partially real human connection, and not trying to grab your attention and spam you with my content, I guess. Creating content which is also meaningful to me and documenting kind of my life and my thought process, and not just for the algorithm to go viral. Now, you see, I'm using YouTube as a kind of skill tool and also for my own documentation. Good examples are these engineering videos or fixing my drone. But if you're simply a consumer and know that you're just watching stuff which you're not actually executing on them, and that's why I tell you, maybe you have to delete YouTube as well. For sure, delete TikTok, Instagram, Reddit, X, you name it. You know what stuff you are consuming all the time. Get out of your shell and meet people again. When was the last time you were in nature? Simply a sandwich, for example, next to the river. Have real human interactions again. The pandemic is over and you need to get out of your shell. And maybe this whole social media boom which is happening at the moment is about to explode. Because I think all these creators will fall more and more into a cycle of getting lonelier and lonely, especially when you're a solo creator. Find peace with yourself. Find a new hobby, new friends, a new positive habit. Stop sending memes to your friends and keep kind of that surface level interaction. Meet them, go to a coffee, go on a little hike and have a good chat about what is going on. You realize how real and good these connections feel compared to this whole social media world. That's what I want to leave you with. Make real human interactions and connections again and get out of your fucking shell. That's what you need to hear right now. Especially the people who are introverted out there. Go and meet people, because I can promise you something. You won't look back and miss it a single bit.